After stealing from diners, 4 college students head to Florida for their spring break. Soon they are arrested only to be bailed out by a drug dealer who tries to convince them to join him. Some of the girls end up sleeping with him and their drug addiction kicks in with this. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to our channel. Childhood friends Faith, Britt, Candy and Cotty seem to be the only people left on their college campus. The rest of their classmates have migrated south to Florida for spring break and the girls are desperate to join them. Britt, Candy and Cotty decide to rob a local fast food restaurant to get the money they need to take the vacation. Cotty drives and Britt and Candy bust into the joint with a hammer and a fake gun. They steal hundreds of dollars and after burning the car, the trio brings their loot to Faith. Faith, who demonstrates a bit more of conscience than her friends, overlooks her horror at the crime in favor for a free vacation. When the foursome arrives in Florida, they quickly immerse themselves in spring break culture, drinking, drugs, and never-ending parties. Faith feels so though Florida is the most spiritual place she has ever been. She feels as though she has found herself there. The days melt into a blur of alcohol, swimming at the beach and grinding most against fellow spring breakers. The only uncomfortable moment arises when Britt, Candy and Cotty describe the robbery to Faith. Britt and Candy terrorize the people in the restaurant by threatening to kill them if they didn't give them their money. When Faith sees them how much her friends enjoyed stealing and scaring people, she is taken aback. The 4 girls attend a beachside concert and see Alan, a drug-dealing rapper, for the first time. Alan claims to come from another planet and also reveals in the spring break culture. Later, the foursome goes out of control at a motel. They snort cocaine, damage the motel and are eventually caught by the local police. They spend the night in the county jail and appear in court the next day, still dressed in their bikinis. The judge gives them a choice, pay a fine or spend 2 more days in jail. Britt protests that they don't have any money and for a moment it looks like they might go back to their cell. Luckily for them, 2 of Ellen's grunts were arrested at the same party and he has to come to post their bail. Something about a foursome appeals to him because he bails them out of jail too. Alan greets Faith, Britt, Candy and Cotty as they exit the jail. He wants to show them around the town while Britt, Candy and Cotty jump at the chance they get. Faith is suspicious of him. Her misgivings about Ellen grows when she learns that he sells drugs for a living. That evening, when Ellen takes the girls to a party where older men, most of them African American, lure at them, Faith breaks down crying and decides to go home. Even after Ellen tries to convince her to stay, Faith heads back to college and the remaining 3 girls move into Ellen's house. Britt and Candy even more wild than Cotty giggle as Ellen shows them their bedroom, which is packed with guns and stacks of money. The pair take 2 of Ellen's guns, both loaded, and playfully point them at him. He tells them to stop, but Britt tells him to get on his knees. She and Candy forces Ellen. When he finishes, the 3 begin kissing and Ellen tells him that they are their soulmate. Later, Ellen takes the trio to a strip club. He gives them weight of cash to toss at the strippers and point out Big Arch, his former mentor and current competitor. Big Arch is angry on Ellen and tells him to go back to ripping off spring breaker. He owns the drug trade in town and he does not feel like sharing. Ellen pretends that Big Arch's threats don't bother him. He buys Britt, Candy and Cotty matching bathing suits and sweatpants. Together, the 4 of them bust into spring break parties and rob the people there. The robberies become more violent and Britt and Candy especially seem to become more depraved. Meanwhile, Big Arch is still angry that Ellen sells drugs. He and an associate drive past Alan's car one night and want him to back off. Then they open fire into his car and 1 bullet hits Cotty in the arm. She breaks down afterwards and sobs in the shower. Cotty also wants to go home and she leaves the next morning. Ellen wants to exact revenge on Big Arch and so do Britt and Candy. The trio has a threesome in Ellen's pool and Ellen tells Britt and Candy that he loves them. Britt and Candy both call their mothers and tell them that what an amazing time they are having on spring break. They pretend that they are back at school and are now want to be better people. Britt and Candy, clad in the neon bikinis, bikinis and sky masks, climb into Alan's boat and drive to Big Arch's waterfront mansion. One of Big Arch's bodyguards open fires at them and shoots Alan in the head. As he charges down the dock, Britt and Candy return fire and kill him. The pair proceed to shoot and kill the rest of the bodyguards at Big Arch's mansion. They find Big Arch in the bathtub and shoot him dead. The murderers and deranged Britt and Candy watches the sunrise in Florida one last time before driving out of town for a place unknown in Big Arch's sports car. A flashback shows the two girls kissing Alan's corpse before running down the dock. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comment section below which movie you want us to recap next. As always, until the next time.